This is the Fenix E06R, a rechargeable 700 lumen EDC light with a UV emitter and laser. Its alloy metal body wouldn't look out of place in a European design showroom or a 90s warehouse rave, but one of its most appealing features is its size. Let me start with a quick unboxing, and then let's just see the contents of the box. This is the Fenix E06R. It is a compact EDC light, and when I say compact, it is just under 3 inches long, just a little bit, a hair over an inch wide, and about half an inch thick, not including the belt clip, which is pretty sturdy all-metal clip, by the way. It doesn't appear to be designed to be unscrewed and changed in position or orientation, but it does have some additional bends in the clip there, which I suppose provides additional friction so this doesn't slide along a belt or a strap. You can easily attach this to a backpack or molly strap, or attach this to a hat brim and turn this into an ersatz makeshift headlamp. So yeah, a couple of different uses for that belt clip there. Now, I did say that it is compact, though not quite as compact as the keychain E03R, which I've tested previously. You can see the size difference here. Now, this is a very compact light that, and both of them share a lot of the similar design features and aesthetic. Both are all metal. I've actually crush tested this light. I won't be crush testing this one because it'll screw up the belt clip, but it appears to be just as rugged as the keychain light. Now, it does have an exposed USB-C port here. It doesn't have any kind of covering there, but it is supposed to be IPX6 rated, which means it can survive a heavy rain downpour, though it's not quite designed to be fully submerged in water. When you plug this in, it turns this ring light red, and when it's fully recharged, this turns green. And it also has a magnetic end here, so that you can see that you can use this as a work light, so to speak, by magnetically attaching this to a car hood or bonnet if you're British, and you can turn this into useful work light as well. Now, it's activated, it's got 3 different controls, but your primary control is on the flat top here. If you press it for a little over a second, like a half a second, it turns on the light. Has a couple of different brightness modes. You just tap it to switch between the modes, and it does have mode memory. You just press it for about another half second, it turns it off, and when you press it again, it goes back to the same mode that you had it on. And as you saw there, when I tap it, it turns green to show the charge indication. So this is pretty close to fully charged, even though it was red when I tapped it in. But it's essentially over a 80% charge in general for it. And if you double tap that button, it turns on the key, the ring here, and it turns it into a breathing mode, is what they call and this is their RGB or rainbow. Tap it again, turns it into your red, and it sort of just glows. They call that breathing. And there's also a blue mode. Tap it again. There's a flashing mode, so it's you could use this as a signal device, and then back to its rainbow breathing mode. And the usefulness of this, well, aside from the flashing light that you could use as an emergency signal and attach this to the top of your car, I suppose, but as far as the other modes, I don't know. More for aesthetic, there's a thought that you could use this to help you find it, but that's assuming you leave this in the breathing mode all the time, which does provide a minor drain to the battery. So yeah, aside from looking cool, I'm not sure what those other uses for the sort of just keeping this on this rainbow or red breathing mode would be. Let me know in the comments if you can think of an additional use for keeping it into this mode. Now, as I mentioned, there were some additional buttons here. Well, this is, aside from being a flashlight, it also has a, if I could turn this on, I think maybe it locks it out when I have Yes. It does lock it out. Interesting. Okay, so let's turn this off. Now, if you press the blue button, you have a UV light, and when you press the red button for a second, you get a laser. So interesting to note that when the primary light or the breathing light you can't double tap. Okay, so interesting to note here. You can't turn it into the breathing mode by double tapping it once it's actually on its primary light mode. You have to turn it off first, then you can double tap and it goes into the breathing mode, but when it's on those other modes, the other side lights do not activate. It locks it out. Let's see if this on primary, it will also lock out the laser. No, it doesn't. It's just in the breathing mode. So, interesting. Okay. So, this is useful if you are, I suppose, outdoors and you are illuminating something and then you want to point to something specifically. You can use the laser for that. All right. So, good to know. All right. Well, speaking of lights, let's test this out next. Before we get started with the test, I'd just like to take a quick break here to talk about this episode's sponsor, Aura. For the cost of just a VPN, I'm getting a whole suite of security services, including $1 million in identity theft insurance, and they're even removing me from those damn data broker listings. Use my link, aura.com/moondog, and you can try them for 14 days, free. And if you use that link, you're helping to support this channel. You know, identity fraud is a real thing, and with AI, it's all too easy to spoof your identity. That's why you should try out Aura. All right, let's get back to the tests. I fully recharged the battery before starting the test and let the unit run for about 10 seconds to warm up the battery chemistry. As you can see, my testing rig is not a NASA-designed scientific instrument, but I have calibrated it to a reliable 100 lumen light source. This is low, medium, high, and this is turbo mode. I'm going to turn on the UV light. Can't see it that well on the camera, but it is quite visible with the naked eye. And our laser. There we go. This is the Fenix. This is low, medium, high, turbo. And the laser. I can see it with my naked eye out to the telephone pole. I recharged the flashlight overnight and I'm setting it on high mode, which is 700 lumens. But given its compact size and high output, how many minutes do you think this thing will run for? Post a comment right now with your best guess. And don't worry, I'm not going to make you watch this in real time. I've set the camera on time-lapse mode so that we'll find out in about a minute. Well, that's an hour already, so let's see how much longer this will go. So there you go, 88 minutes, an hour and 28 minutes. Was it more or less than you guessed? Thanks Thanks for sticking around till the end of the video, and if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell buttons. That's absolutely free, by the way, and if you're already subscribed to this channel, thanks for doing that. And I'd like to thank Fenix for sending out the E06R for me to test. This tiny little EDC light is every bit as cool and as useful as their keychain-sized E03R, which I've reviewed previously, and you can find a link to that review in this video's description. In fact, this tiny little light has all the features of a larger and more expensive EDC light like this Arcfeld Pro here. It has a bright white light, it also has a laser, it has a UV light. So it begs the question, why would you need a larger EDC, really? I mean, granted, it's not as bright as you know, some of the newer EDCs out there, but 700 lumens is plenty bright. I'm old enough to remember when a 600 lumen full-size tack light was considered super bright. So yeah, this is plenty bright, and for practical use, you don't really want to get a light too bright, especially if you're going hands-free. Otherwise, you're going to end up blinding yourself. So from all intents and purposes, this is a great EDC. It's smaller, it's lighter. So why would you want a larger EDC? Well, let me know in the comments. One other question I have is, why would you use the breathing mode on here? I know it looks cool and everything, but yeah, is there a practical use other than, granted, the signaling blinking mode could be useful as an emergency signaling device, especially since this, you could tail stand this on top of your car, you know, or the side of your car if you're, you know, changing your tire in the dark. So yeah, but other than that, is there anything useful in the breathing light mode other than as a conversation piece? Well, maybe there is. Well, let me know. And if you're interested in picking one up, I've included affiliate product links as well as more information in my full written write-up at moondogindustries.com. And you'll find a link to that article in this video's description, along with affiliate links in the video description. Use the links and help support this channel. And you can always help support this channel by simply sharing this video with your friends and your buddies on your socials. So thanks for doing that. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video. God bless. Moondog out. Hey, I'd like to know what you thought of this video. Leave me a comment or chat with me on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, MeWe, Instagram, or Locals. And if you want to see all of my videos, go to moondogindustries.com.